Who would have thought that the poster child of Rishi Sunak's campaign team, Dominic Raab, could be siding with the Labour Party and their policies? I thought these guys were supposed to be the grown-ups of the Conservatives. Hello everybody, welcome back to the show. So this leadership election is it's getting boring now, isn't it? It's been going on for about 50 years and we keep hearing the same rhetoric. Initially we had Rishi Sunak saying, well, Liz Truss offering all these fairy tale ideas. We have to be the grown-ups. We can't really just make empty promises. And then he started to make U-turns and give the same fairy tale promises. That was quite interesting. Thank you, Mr. Sunak. One of the things is about how to deal with the cost of living crisis. Now, Dominic Raab agrees with Keir Starmer and just the Labour mantra that tax cuts, allowing people to actually keep more of their money, is a bad idea. They believe that the best way to help is to go to a plumber, take £10,000, £20,000 regularly from them, give it to HMRC, and then give a few £100 back in handouts, and then expect a thank you. Yeah, taking people from their pocket and then giving it back to them, and a small chunk of them, is not really helping with the cost of living crisis. And it's not really an ideology, it's just completely nonsensical paternalistic conservatism, which has ruined this country for decades in the past, until Margaret Thatcher came and completely changed that mentality. Now, this is weird because we had back in May, Rishi saying every household will get £400 off their energy bills. So you had that kind of, again, like a handout, like sort of like a rebate. And while those on mean tested benefits would receive a further £650. Fine. But the package was based on a prediction that the average bills would be no higher than £2,800. The most recent analysis suggests that the energy price cap could jump to £3,500 in October, and then it's going to go up again to about £4,000 in January. So all this free stuff that you're giving out, free lollipops and unicorns, is not going to be enough anyway. So it might be easier to firstly reform the whole system when it comes to the energy markets, to stop the cabal of the vested interests, to allow a semi-monopoly system that we've created, only a few big energy firms playing in the market. If you allow actual competition, a lot of smaller companies to compete, that will be easier. That's long term. Short term, allow people to keep their own money, at least more of it, not all of it, I guess, because you still need to fund the police and the army, right? And the hospitals. But it doesn't really work if you take the money, give it to the bureaucrats, to pay for the red tape and the salaries of the civil servants and everything else. And then HMRC would give some of it back. It's not really reasonable. That's where Liz Truss's campaign team have come out to say. The question for Rishi is, how is he going to fund these new promises? 3 weeks ago, he was saying more borrowing was inflationary. Has he changed his mind? Yeah, with the interest rates obviously changing and everything else, and the international banks being in trouble, even China, we can't really borrow money from them anymore because China essentially owns parts of the world, because a lot of us, including Americans, have borrowed a lot of money from Beijing and or banks who are linked to China and the Communist Party. And so you can't really do that. You can't really completely just keep printing money, because that's what's caused this issue. You guys have been doing it since the 90s. You accelerated in 90s and 2000s. You remember the time that was peaceful times? Everything was fine. Center left, center right were running the Western civilization. Everything was so quiet and lovely. That was the problem, because behind the scenes, they were printing money. They were creating, pseudo monopolies. They were creating big business that went hand in hand with big government. And you wonder why everything's kicking off. Yeah, that's why. That's the reality. Now, we're going to come back in half an hour. We're going to give you some good news. It's not just doom and gloom. We're going to tell you what Boris Johnson's up to when it comes to prisons. We're going to talk about the eco-militants and their hypocrisy, and what did Dan Wootton do when he went to the Tory leadership hustings. So subscribe to the channel. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.